Joe Rogan recently unveiled exclusive audio from Diddy's bail hearing, sparking reports linking Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, and Jay-Z to the unfolding situation. Jay-Z is now entangled in a fresh lawsuit. Ellen is rumored to be planning a move to England, and Oprah is said to be taking steps to distance herself from the controversy.
Horrific accusations involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
So crazy.
It is crazy. And meanwhile, the guy was like hanging out with Oprah, hanging out with Obama.
Jay-Z.
Everybody.
And a new twist in a high-profile lawsuit accuses rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain.
Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, and Jay-Z are reportedly working to distance themselves from legal entanglements amid claims that Diddy may be cooperating with federal authorities after his bail was denied for the third time. In a leaked call that has since gone viral, Diddy allegedly mentioned Jay-Z intensifying the scrutiny. As a result, Jay-Z is now facing a lawsuit tied to incidents from the early 2000s alongside Diddy.
All the boxes left over from the piece. All the boxes, okay. Mature, I ain't gonna play like talk about. Jay reached out about now, because I'm in here. So you about to get out on bail, Yo, when you to reach out to no, there's a release station. Crazy right now. Right out there, yeah. We all have that little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh. What about all these lawsuits, though, huh? None of them kids. I ain't worth nothing. In my name anyway. You worry about it.
Media mogul Jay-Z now accused of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 along with Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this lawsuit was originally filed back in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as the defendant. But it was just refiled today to include Jay-Z now, whose real name is Sean Carter. Of course, he's the husband of Beyonce. The anonymous accuser alleging the assault occurred after she was driven to an after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards. The suit says she was offered a drink that made her feel, quote, woozy, lightheaded, felt like she needed to lie down. Shortly after, the suit claims Jay-Z and Diddy entered the room where she was resting, eventually sexually assaulting her. And now, just in the last hour, we are hearing from Jay-Z and his team of lawyers. They're denying the claim and say that they are the victims of blackmail, saying, quote, I will not give you one red penny, and my only heartbreak is for my family. Joining us now to break this all down as it's happening, News Nation Law and Justice contributor, former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffendorfer. Jennifer, thanks for staying with us on this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And so we just received a response from the victim's lawyer, really just in the last few minutes. Take a look. This is on social media. A lawyer, Tony Busby, saying Jay-Z has, quote, tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff, but his conduct has had the opposite impact. He goes on to say that the allegations speak for themselves, and he will let the facts come out in court, not in the media. What do you make of this real-time back and forth that we're seeing between these two parties tonight?
Well, it is interesting, and I think it's because Jay-Z came out so strongly and said, listen, I'm going to go after you. And then he filed a suit quickly on the heels of the other suit against Busby and the accusers. So because of that, you're seeing this taunting sort of back.
Oprah seems keenly aware of the escalating controversy and has taken steps to distance herself from it. Over the past 10 months following Diddy's arrest, she maintained complete silence and refrained from commenting on the matter. However, as the scrutiny on high-profile figures like Jay-Z intensifies, Oprah has broken her silence, emphasizing her commitment to the well-being of those impacted by the situation.
Have spoken yet publicly about what's going on.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. I happened to be on set with several actresses the other day, and we were filming some things, and they were like, hadn't slept over a period of 2 or 3 days, and I was like, what is that? I said, oh, you guys are suffering from PTSD.
And when you start talking about it out loud, too.
Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And so I think this is a watershed moment. We'll have lost this moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, there have been women who not only had the disease to please, that's a part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, in order to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I got to pretend he didn't say that, I got to pretend he didn't touch me. I think those days are about to be over.
Are over. And if it happens to you back in the day, you would say, sometimes you're not even aware what he just said wasn't really inappropriate.
I know you've had a couple moments.
Where you just think, what did he just say?
Yes, I remember Gail had a moment when she came and said to me what somebody said was so inappropriate. I was like, oh my God, you can sue over that. But
no, and all I said was, what did you say? And then they repeated it.
Yes.
It's terrible. Terrible. Typing with my 20-something-year-old son.
And you get to hear it.
Yes.
You pretend it's okay. You pretend you didn't.
No, it isn't. You're right, Jeff. You're absolutely right.
But a lot of women have been silenced, and I know.
But I think it's going to change.
Being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too.
Yeah.
So,
And you've been speaking about it for a while.
Questions are swirling about why Oprah chose to speak out only after Jay-Z came under scrutiny and why she is now distancing herself from Diddy. Sources close to Diddy have previously revealed that Oprah had spent time with him, raising further speculation. As new details surface, Diddy appears to be just one key player among many operating behind the scenes. Rumors suggest Hollywood harbors numerous powerful individuals engaged in questionable activities. Should Diddy face legal consequences, he could potentially expose others linked to him, sending shockwaves through the industry.
Oh, he was running with Oprah and them. He was running with that whole crew. Weinstein, Oprah, Epstein. He was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support them. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z. We the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward and say,
Diddy was reportedly deeply connected to an influential circle that included major figures like Oprah, sparking questions about how the public will ultimately perceive him, whether he'll be forgiven or permanently shunned. While public sentiment appears to be shifting away from Diddy, the entertainment industry itself hasn't severed ties entirely. Many celebrities who frequented Diddy's events have remained conspicuously silent, avoiding any public condemnation of his actions. This silence seems to be a strategic move to safeguard their own reputations and brands. Allegations suggest that these powerful individuals use their influence to entrap others, offering lucrative opportunities or financial incentives that ultimately lead to control. This dynamic reportedly allowed figures like Oprah and Diddy to amass significant wealth and power. Years ago, Oprah allegedly offered Dave Chappelle $15 million, an offer he famously declined after realizing there was more to it than met the eye. At the time, many were puzzled by Dave's decision, but with recent revelations, his choice now appears far more understandable.
Completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay. When you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And then I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Comedian Dave Chappelle left tens of millions of dollars on the table when he walked away from his popular Comedy Central show. A lot of people wondered what the hell was he thinking, and that's a quote. Chappelle says he had, or whether he was thinking. A lot of people ask that question. Chappelle says he had a crisis of conscience and stood up for his integrity as an artist. He explained to us how stepping out of the spotlight helped him avoid getting caught in a trap. It's so much bigger than money, though, Dave. It's so much bigger than money.
Oh, no, it was bigger than money. But you know what? I watched one of these nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently, baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt. Salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. The baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out of the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. Bushman follows him, and they both drink it. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
Isn't that a great analogy?
What an analogy!
No, he's very, very thoughtful and very...
Ellen DeGeneres has long been linked to Diddy, with her own admissions revealing she was aware of the happenings at his infamous after-parties. At one point, Diddy even reportedly asked to host one of his parties at her house. Now, with Diddy behind bars, Ellen's abrupt decision to relocate to England has sparked speculation. Is it merely a coincidence, or is she strategically distancing herself from potential fallout? Considering past allegations about Ellen's treatment of her employees, it wouldn't be surprising if there's more to this story unfolding behind the scenes.
It's going to be a new thing. Are you going to try to be early?
I'm trying to be early.
Are you going to be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
You know I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late, please.
What time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But not too late. Because, you know, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I promise you I'm not going to let you down on this big one.
All right, good.
Yo,
good.
Your shoes, your feet are going to have blisters. You're going to be dancing so hard.
I can't wait.
The growing concern among celebrities stems from reports that authorities now have access to Diddy's tapes. 8 of these tapes have allegedly been handed over to the FBI, triggering legal troubles for several high-profile individuals. Jay-Z and the CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch are already entangled in court, facing serious allegations. With the investigation gaining momentum, it seems likely that more prominent figures could soon find themselves under scrutiny.
Statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if
appeared to be.
Were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let me
be,
rephrase
right.
it.
Based on, yes.
Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were, all 8 were victimized,
Yeah.
meaning this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was. But
One thing is certain, this situation goes far beyond Diddy, with authorities reportedly targeting a broad network of individuals. Allegations suggest that tapes discovered in Diddy's mansion implicate figures at the highest levels of government. Rumors claim the raid on his property was aimed at recovering sensitive recordings involving prominent government officials. As the story unfolds, it's becoming evident that the scope of this controversy is much larger than initially thought. If Diddy decides to cooperate with authorities, the fallout could potentially ensnare many more individuals in legal troubles.
Tend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate we're going to start filing lawsuits. It may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this, when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public, and when you name somebody in a lawsuit, press is going to pick it up. We're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly, Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence, was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given one drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, the individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her vagina and her anus were torn.
What do you think about Oprah, Ellen, and Jay-Z being linked to this scandal? Are we finally uncovering some of the hidden realities of Hollywood? Share your thoughts in the comments below.